that was running pizzas and something else. But anyway, that thing would run through, going just about this fast, and through there like that. And it would run through an oven that wasn't no wider than that. And it would cook, running just like it, right through. I mean, cooked solid. And then, after it come out of there, it had another place, like a, to look at it, it looked like a big box, but it was out of metal. And that thing had ice all the way around it because you couldn't make it airtight. Even just a little bitty hole, anything, just, you know how ice would build up on it.
Yeah.
But that pizza would be red hot. It'd come out of this chute over here, and it'd come into that cold. And that, it was so cold, they said if you stuck your finger in there, through that door, and in there, then you just take your finger plumb off. And what it would do, that pizza, it would come in that, it wasn't no wider than that, I'm telling you, and probably no taller than that. And it had a belt going through there, and that pizza, whatever they run through, it had to be froze. Time it reached there, and it was running about like that. In time it'd come in, go out, that thing would be stiff as a board. And it went in there hot.
Flash frozen.
Just like that. I mean, it was, and they was just running pizza just fast as you could run them. And freezing, they're cooking on one of them. Then after it come out of where they's cooking, it go right into the freeze. You imagine that.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's how cold it was in there. So you can imagine how cold it was in the building where I was at. Because they stored them in there, so it was cold, son. You talk about rough, but that was one of them times when work was hard to get a hold of. I mean, that was one of them slow years, and it was either do that or go home. And I don't know how many of them quit and went home, but they was only like, I don't know, 4 or 5 that stayed. And I was one of them. And I said, well, brother, I ain't going home. I'm going to work. And I stayed there, and I, you know, but you got to take the good with the bad. Well, some of them guys, they thought that was the office thing in the world. I said, well, if you don't start there, just go ahead and go.
That's right.
Ain't nobody holding you. You know, they're paying you to do it, and you can either do your job or go home.
That's right.
I tell you, you talk about some jobs in the paint. I have done some mean ones. I mean some mean ones. And the meanest ones that I've been on is in the construction line down there at Procter & Gamble. You know, them girdle